our February 24th EDC meeting. We're going to start out with our invocation and pledge. Miss Tanya has agreed to graciously do our invocation, and she's going to do our flags also, actually.
May we bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with a grateful heart, thankful for the opportunity to serve this city and its people. Lord, you have blessed Cleveland with a rich history, strong community, and a culture that unites us as one. As we gather to make decisions that will shape the future of our city, we ask, Lord, for your wisdom, your guidance, and clarity. Lord, let our minds be united in purpose, blending our diverse experiences and talents to create lasting positive change. May our discussions be filled with selfless love, seeking not personal gain, Lord, but the well-being of every citizen, those who call this place home today and those who build their futures here tomorrow. Lord, we pray for innovation that honors our past while embracing the opportunities of our future. Lord, we ask that we work together with integrity, humility, and a servant's heart. And may the Economic Development Commission be a light that leads Cleveland towards a future where every resident experiences the benefits of a flourishing economy. In your precious Son, Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay. As you're very well aware, we have Tanya Clark on my very far left, your very far right. Next to Tanya, we have Chunk Thompson, our treasurer. And then sitting next to Chuck, who is not in his chair right this second, is our community development director, Emilio Lavario. Juanita is gone today, our city secretary, she's off. But we have our deputy city secretary filling in for her. And then to my right, I have our city council member and vice president for EDC, Brent McWaters. And then to his right, the one and only, infamous and famous Mike Buckley. And I am John Williams, your president. Do we have any public comments? No public comments. New business spotlight. Anything on new business spotlight, Emilio?
No, not at this time. Since our meeting, our next meeting is going to be around the corner, we'll probably have a lineup of new people to feature then.
Awesome, and we'll obviously we'll have our next meeting this next Tuesday. Will be the new meeting time, so we'll have one on Tuesday and then once a month after that. Miss Victoria Good for the Greater Cleveland Chamber of Commerce update. Give us just a second. We're having some technical.
Hello.
Now we got
Okay.
it.
Good evening.
Hello.
Oh, all right. Well, good evening. I just wanted to, I took some notes because I felt like I had a lot of things to touch on. So first off, I just want to say thank you to everyone who attended our annual awards banquet. It feels like it was months ago, but it really wasn't. We had our Annual awards banquet, we were celebrating Cleveland's 90th year. We had the Cleveland Historical Museum come. They set up an amazing display. I cannot thank Pat Blakey enough and her team because she did such a great job. And I wanted to just let y'all know about something because I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but a couple years ago, we added community business awards. So if you were there or you've heard, we have the Chamber's annual awards, which are our Business of the Year, our Nonprofit of the Year, and those. But we added 3 more, and the reason we did that, Best Storefront, Best Customer Service, and the other one, I can't remember what it is. The reason we added those were open to any business in Cleveland. We wanted to be able to honor and recognize businesses that were not necessarily chamber members. We wanted to bring people in that could see what the chamber was doing and see that we do see them. So those are still voted on by the community, but they can be given to any local business. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Okay, so Liberty County Capital Day. That was fun. Right, Pam? Right, Roger? We had a little bit of a transportation issue, but overall, I will say that we did come back and we still were able to put some things in motion from that morning. So it wasn't a complete fail. We made it there and we made it back. That's all that matters. We'll do better next time. So our March luncheon is coming up. It's next Thursday. It's going to be highlighting our nonprofits, 3 nonprofits. We do this every couple years where we ask 3 nonprofits to come in. This month or next month is going to be Heartwarming Living Solutions, the Cleveland Senior Citizens Organization, and Workforce Solutions. So they'll be able to talk a little bit about what they offer and what they do in the area. We do have a job fair coming up. We are partnering with the city, EDC, school district, and Workforce Solutions on March 27th. I am waiting for them to send me the flyer with the link for businesses to sign up, but that information will go out as soon as I get that. I'm hoping it'll be this week. Our next luncheon after that is April 3rd, and it's our State of the City luncheon. So Mayor Danny Lee and I believe Emilio will be speaking. Is that what you said? Sure. No. Maybe someone.
I may have a small part in it, but other people might as well. So.
Okay. So we will have somebody speak that luncheon. They will talk about Cleveland. One thing that I would like to start, I've kind of mentioned this to Emilio, is I'd like to start a downtown committee, and I'm kind of just still putting the finishing touches on that. But I'm going to be targeting businesses who are invested in the downtown area just to give us input on future events and things that they would like to see in the area. I've already talked to some of our members that are in that area that participated in Cocoa Crawl, and they really wanted to see more happen from that. And so I'm really excited about starting that. And then I just wanted to say, just thank you for your support. I think that recently I've been reminded that we are doing something right here. We went to the Main Street, the HGAC Main Street program thing, and honestly, the highlight of the morning was our partnership with the city, the EDC, and the chamber. And I mean, we talked about that, what I felt like all morning. And I heard from several others that this is how cities should be working together. So I just want to say thank you. Our board met last Thursday. We had our monthly board meeting and our strategic planning session for this year. And a lot of the conversation for this year revolved around our relationship with y'all in the city and how we can work better together for our businesses and for our community. So I just want to say thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Victoria or no?
Yeah, real quick question. On
I knew they were going to.
the job fair, that's being held at the Civic Center on the 27th?
Yes, it will be at the Civic Center. I think it's 10 to 1.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
10 to 1. Okay, reports and comments from our board members. Chuck, you got anything for us?
This happened, and I can only hope that we can continue the progress that he has started. So I publicly wanted to say that. On a personal note, let him know that I will miss our morning walks when we cross paths. Usually he's coming back to his house as I'm walking back to mine, so I will miss that. Also wanted to wish him all the success and happiness in this new position that he and his family are undertaking, and I'm sure whatever they choose to take on, they will be very well established to do so. So anyway, thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate everything you've done.
Ms. Clark, you got anything for us?
I would like to just add to that, thanking Scott for the work that he has done in our city. Just like Chuck said, I was not here of his arrival, but I have seen the impact of his work. But I also want to elevate Emilio. I think he is the quiet storm behind a lot of the success that we've had as the EDC. And I don't think that we actually tell him that publicly enough, that I am so excited to be a part of this work, and I'm so grateful for the impact that you're having. You have no idea in the community how many times your name comes up in conversations of what people are actually seeing happen as a result of what you're doing. So I'm thankful for that. But I also want to congratulate Ms. Pam. I noticed that she is our interim city manager, so I want to congratulate her on that. And just ask that she continue to keep the work going that Scott has put in place. But thank you for stepping up to that leadership role, and I'm looking forward to the impact that you have in the community. You're welcome.
Mr. Brent, what you got?
Well, just piggybacking off of what everybody else has said, I was here when Scott arrived in town, and he, what he's brought to the city over his time here has been, he's done a great job for us. We're going to miss him. We wish him all the best. Again, I also thank Pam for taking on this and this next as we do the search for the new city manager. And yeah, Emilio, you're definitely you're making your mark, man. Just keep it up. I hear your name a lot around the community, and talking with different. John and I talk with different people, and your name's always on the forefront. So we appreciate that. Us that's been on this board or been around these boards for a while, hearing the activity that's happening now is nice. So thank you for that.
Mr. Buckley, what you got?
But I want to thank Scott also for time and commitment he's put in this city. He's achieved quite a few things that I know it's been rough for him to make happen, and he's always tried to do what I've seen is positivity, progress for Cleveland, and I want to thank him for that, and I hope him and his family well. Pam, I want to say thank you for stepping up and taking this position. I know it's hard, and you got your hands full, and I appreciate you doing what you're doing for us. And then Emilio also, it's nice to have somebody here that is pushing and wants to see positive progress again, also in growth, and we haven't had that in a long time. So to have a person on this board that's pushing that position, I appreciate that. And then I also want to thank our Public Works, our police department, and our fire departments for all the hard work they do constantly, day in and day out. Without them, this city is not operating, and without our city officials and employees. So thank you.
Well, and of course, I usually save mine I always save mine for last, and so I can just say ditto and ditto and ditto and ditto right down the line. Obviously, Scott has been an integral part of the ongoings in the city for quite some time now, and he's going to surely be missed. And we hope we're going to have a departing gift for him that Brent and I kind of came up with. But and so he's going to have to make our next EDC meeting for sure. But he is going to be missed. He's done a lot for us, and he's got the city on a pretty good track, in my opinion. But I think our new interim city manager is going to be awesome. I have to deal with her, or she has to deal with me, I think, more likely, quite often on everything with EDC and the airport and all our own ongoings. And I know I always thank her because, we're the ones that are always, I myself am the one that's always dealing with her, and she is, her door's always open. She's always there to answer every question it seems like anybody has, and we really do appreciate it for sure. I can't say enough about Public Works. I know I always say this about Public Works, but I'm going to give you a couple of good examples. Our gate at the airport has been broke for a few days, and this morning Roger calls me and says, hey, we need to get another bid on fixing this gate. I gave him a number, and Cody has already got the bid, already got everything submitted to our airport director, and it all happened that quick today. And then on top of that, I sent a message to the airport director saying that our white light on our beacon at the airport, there's a green light and a white light on the beacon, that the white light was out. And when Cody had called me about the gate, I mentioned that to him, and sure enough, within 30 minutes, he had already climbed up this pole and replaced it. And I don't know that I would have climbed up this pole. Even though I'm a pilot, I'm not the best with heights, believe it or not. I'll fly a plane all day long and anywhere, but it's kind of weird. But he had already climbed up the pole and got it replaced for the beacon at the airport. And these are just two examples in one day with Public Works. Like Mike said, you can't operate this city without them, of course. But I don't think people really realize what all they do. They do a lot. They do a whole lot all around the city. I deal with them all the time in regards to the airport and on projects from our EDC. I've had a couple of people ask me in the last week about our EDC and projects and how they work, and Amelia and I were talking about this today, and in simplistic form, I'm going to give you a couple of examples to where it makes it really clear for the viewing public, and that is we get the idea either from somebody on this board or from the public or from Ms. Good is a good example. Victoria and the chamber will bring us an idea. And then we put that idea on an agenda. And I'm really putting this in layman's terms. There's a lot more to it. But we put that idea as a board on the agenda. And then as a board, we discuss that idea and end up, if it comes to the situation where we want to move forward on it, we end up making a vote on it and voting on it. And I know that sounds real simple, and I know it's more complicated than that. But essentially, that is kind of the way it works. I've said this with the chamber situation and our collaborations with the chamber. A lot of those collaborations, I know they give the EDC a lot of credit for it, but realistically, the chamber, comes to us with ideas. Victoria will come up with something and go, hey, what do y'all think about this? And we're like, yeah, let's try it, and we do it. And obviously, it's been pretty good. It's been very successful so far. And it's the same thing with a facade grant, for an example. You bring us you want to get a facade grant, you bring it to Emilio, and he goes through it. He puts it on the agenda. We discuss it and vote on it. And I know it sounds real simple, but that's what I'm trying to make it sound like, because it is that simple. Internally, we have a lot of stuff we have to do on our side. But that is truly how it works, and we as a board collectively make the decisions, whether it's a grant or it's hiring a wayfinding company to do a wayfinding project. Our EDC board, I can't say enough about them. I thank them all the time. Our EDC projects and everything we're doing is only as good as the directors on this board. And I give them the credit all the time, and I thank them all the time for it. I can't say enough about Emilio. Obviously, I deal with him on a daily basis, and I agree with what Tanya had said earlier. We definitely have made a really big turn. I know that everybody says that our turn in the city is when, or with EDC is when this new board came on, but I think we saw a larger turn when we got Emilio on board. He has been awesome, and I can't say enough about him, for sure. He does a great job. The HGAC meeting that Victoria talked about earlier, was definitely a success. I've had 3 phone calls from other municipalities wanting to know if we'd be interested. In fact, I had one yesterday on Sunday, wanting to know if myself and Victoria and Emilio would be interested in going to their municipality and having a talk with them and giving them some ideas on how to get their cohesiveness together with their chamber and city and EDC. So it was a very positive situation. I totally agree. Capital Days was awesome, at least for 3 of us. It was really good. Not to mention Chuck, Emilio, and myself. We went up the night before, and Brian Garcia, actually. Brian Garcia and Jose. Jose is the EDC, basically EDC director manager for Entergy. But we all went up the night before, and we got a lot out of it. We learned a lot. There's some grants available for us, maybe to get some money back on some things that we do, and it was really a really good trip. So other than that, anybody else have anything? All good? Let's go to the director's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, I didn't pay anyone to say all those nice things about me, but thank y'all. I'd first like to start by introducing one of our newer faces around here, and someone we're very excited about having on the team and showcasing his talents, and has already generated a lot of buzz and had a huge impact on our city and our EDC. But I want to introduce Sochi Perez, our new communications and marketing coordinator, and he can give you a little bit more information about himself and introduce himself.
Thank you, Emilio. For those of you, I already know many of your faces. For those who I don't know yet, my name is Sochi Perez. I'll be working here as the new marketing and communications coordinator. I'll tell you guys what I told Emilio the first time I saw him. This place is amazing. It's great. It is stunning. The people and the community here are phenomenal. And what I really want to do in this job is just showcase the excellence that's already within here. So we're planning right now. We're in the stages of planning some big ideas for our new social media campaigns, some stuff for print, some stuff to get events going on so we can get more community engagement. There's already so many things that the chamber does, that this board does, that just needs the right little flair to get more people out there, more people coming towards us, seeking help, seeking the resources that this great community provides. And yeah, I just look forward to working with you guys, and I want to make this as amazing as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Sochi.
I just want to interject real quick that if y'all have seen all of our social media lately, all of that has been because of Sochi. He has done a phenomenal job, obviously, and I want to thank you very much for everything that you are doing, and as quick as you're doing it, and you hit the ground with your feet running, and we appreciate that. Thank you, Sochi.
Awesome. So she's already hard at work in EDC-related communication and marketing initiatives. We're working on a draft of a marketing plan that hopefully will guide the rest of this fiscal year and inform our activities and marketing next fiscal year. We're also developing and implementing some social media platforms for the EDC, namely LinkedIn and Facebook, where our community and target audience really are in terms of social platforms. And so lots of good things working and brewing with Sochi. So very excited to see those to fruition. Something that we're working on very hand in glove on is the rebranding project, of course. And so we met, the activity of the rebranding committee recently has been a meeting on February 4th. We did a visual concepts workshop round 2 and really narrowed down on some options on the logo concept. And then again later, as recently as last week, we pinned down a brand strategy and made quick work of identifying a top tagline option. So making really fast progress on that. Had a brief internal team meeting on that with our consultants today, and we think that we're in a place to where we can quickly convene the board next week, or the rebranding committee next week, kind of a impromptu committee meeting to really finalize and go on to the next steps in the process. So if you're on that committee, that Mike and Ms. Souls and Chuck and John be on the lookout, and we'll be sending that committee information meeting out. And I think you'll be pleased to see the progress that we've made so quickly on that. I did want to inform the ADC board on plans to celebrate Scott's transition and wishing him a warm goodbye. It looks like we'll be looking to do that closer to his last day, perhaps that week of. So I will definitely send out that information and make sure they all have that information so you can join us in that celebration. It looks like we have this later on in the program, but I did want to introduce Lee Howe with Applied Marketing. They're our target industry and analysis consultants, and she'll be going through kind of a short workshop with you to kind of go through some of the insights that she needs from y'all to share and how to inform our strategy on the target industry analysis. Working to process an invoice to present a check to the CISD Education Foundation, so they should be joining us at our next board meeting next month to where we can make that presentation to them, and they can give us an update on where they're at with how the grant process has developed and what's involved and who receives the funds and how those selections are made and how we're involved in that process. And then, like John mentioned, we learned about some opportunities for grant funding at the Capitol Days, and so I'll be following up with what seems to be a pretty straightforward application process. Doesn't commit any funds on our behalf yet, but at least we'll gauge our interest in them and see how successful we'll be in advancing to a round 2 on those grant opportunities. So that's all I have for you tonight.
I think, Mike, do you have any questions? You good? Anybody else? Any questions for? No? Move on to our consent agenda. Obviously, all consent items are considered routine by EDC board and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member requests an item to be removed and considered separately. Has everybody had a chance on the?
If I may, Mr. President, I do have a point of order on the agenda. Even though it's right on our presentation on the agenda, it does say November 2025 financials. That should be 2024. It's not Pam's error. It is our error.
So on number 9A should be November of 2024 instead of 25. Of course, I just saw November and December. Do what?
8A.
Do what?
None.
Yeah, 9A, yeah, 9A. Oh, okay. No, yeah, we had 9A. In the meeting minutes, on number 3C, I changed that. What I did on this, and this is what I was going to give to the city secretary on number 3C, Tanya, beside her name. I put that she was appointed later in the meeting because it notes in there that she was running just a little bit late. So on number C, I put just appointed later in meeting. And then on number 11, B is in Bravo, under Vice President, I changed that to John Williams made the motion to keep Brent McWaters instead of Brent McWaters made the motion. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he did not nominate himself. So that was the only thing that I saw on it. unless someone sees something else. Everybody good with number 8 and number 9? Yeah? So do I have a motion to accept it with the corrections on the meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda with the appropriate corrections just stated.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
So I have a motion by Brent and a second by Mr. Buckley to accept the consent agenda with the corrections on the meeting minutes as mentioned. Any other discussion, concerns, complaints? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Discussion and possible consideration on number 10. We're going to do an update on projects concerning beautification and improvements to city facilities and parks. And we're going to start with the library, and then Campbell Park, Old City Park, and Sam Wiley Park. Emilio.
I think we'll have Mr. Brooks up because his department is assisting a great deal in these endeavors. And
As I said earlier, people give us the credit, but really Roger's the one that does all the work. Oh, by the way, I will tell you that Roger did acquire us our fire hydrants. Yes, he did get our fire hydrants for us. Yep.
Good evening, President members, all those assembled. I have been getting quotes. I haven't received some of them back. I have received as far as the concrete, tables for the Salmon Water Park. I did get a couple quotes. One of them is like $1,300
That's a whole lot better than it was.
without shipping.
Oh.
But I'm gonna pass this around.
You spoke way too soon there, didn't we?
I'm gonna pass these two around.
So do I have to, is it scary, the shipping?
I find it kind of local, Houston, San Antonio area. So we'll probably go pick them up.
Oh, okay, good.
I have the original one, which is $2,800, and then another one, which is about $1,300. So I need to get y'all input and see what y'all suggest or some feedback. I don't want to just get something but I want y'all feedback to see if this is something that y'all want to pursue.
If I could-
Two tables, are they the same type of tables?
All of them
are
are
they?
concrete. They're both concrete tables with the table and the concrete seats around it. And then the other one I looked at for like 12, it was like with ADA compliance. So if somebody's in difficulty get up in there, it has the capabilities of meeting that requirement also. So I just wanted y'all input.
And we haven't, I think we're waiting to get a better idea on cost, and we can even, we've talked about approaching the Rotary Club for their possible participation and cost sharing opportunities, so that may be an option as well.
And also, I did try to get some shade structure or some shades for the library also, and I'm waiting on that. I thought they would have hit me back already, but they haven't hit me back with no quotes on that. Last quote I got for it was astronomical. It was ridiculous. So I had the same size as far as 7. The size of it would be 70 by 140, angling from the height of the building, which is the projector screen, is 20 feet high against the back of the building. And we probably kind of slant it down. So the shade would automatically cover the projector screen, and then it would, like say, it would taper away from the building
and I'm trying to get several quotes on that type, so I'm still waiting on that.
Are they gonna, on that deal there, are they gonna have gutters on the backside for the watershed?
Well,
That's something you really need
yeah,
to look at because.
this is, for a shade structure, it was kind of difficult to put actual gutters on it, because it's morely like
Fabric.
a fabric type of material.
Oh, okay, so we're not
It's
looking at
not,
doing
it's
the
not
metal.
no tin metal.
We're not looking at doing the metal.
No, no. This product will be able to be removed, extend the life of it, because, you know, since the weather will shorten the life of this material. Even though I'm thinking about a sail type shade that would, different angles, kind of more appeasing to different kids and the environment or the surroundings. We'll look into it.
All right.
But what you're talking about is a fixed structure.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be, we thought about it, I mean, I'm open to more suggestions if
Well,
you're
I'm just looking to see what would be
more economical.
economical and actually be more usable for.
For different events.
For the events that they have
Well,
out there.
this was the same way, we just that one's a more flexible structure, one's a fixed or sturdy structure.
Yeah.
It just depends. It just depends on the money, how much I want to spend.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
I know it all
so-
comes down to dollars, but
Yes,
at the
yes,
same time, we gotta make sure that we're getting everything we need out of it. you
Correct,
know, that's-
exactly.
that's
It's a multi-use type
Yeah.
of structure, yes, sir. I know I think I sent an email to a couple of y'all about the walking trails, bike trails, and different things like that. And I was waiting for a response back from you all about how you want to proceed, if you want me to tackle it another way, or would you get for all the parks to do a walking trail type outdoor event, you know, some where the family could relax or just gather or just meet and greet, you know, something like that. So I did send an email on that. It was like, for all the parks included, it was like $400 and something thousand or whatever it might be. But, and if y'all haven't got it, I always send it if y'all need me to. And we could also break it down per park and do one park at a time. But I just got one single quote breaking down with each park, the amenities at that park. So
What kind of materials are they using for the walking trails? Is it like a gravel?
it's like a gravel type. Easy on the knees.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
main thing. So it'll absorb.
Yes.
And yeah, something like that. Where the water won't pond on it, it dissipates, you know, stuff like that. So we're still looking for the best bang for our buck, and then we don't want to just go out there and buy whatever, you know. But I need y'all input to let me know what y'all desire. But I will send that email to y'all just to be on the up and up. Those are the parks. Probably next month or the end of next month, we're gonna go to Salmon Water Park and do some renovation just to clean up the area, paint and different things like that, and also look at Campbell Park also, because there have been some vandalized going on over there in that area, and they just tear up a lot of stuff over in that area. So I just want to make sure that what we get is proof, vandal proof, which nothing we get is vandal proof, but I mean something that is durable. But I'm still working on those items.
How's our skate park holding up?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. And I know y'all talked about doing a cover for the Old City Park, the playground that got put over there last year? Yeah, last year. Putting a shade structure over that too, like a canopy type deal, so protect the kids so they won't get burnt or the equipment won't be so hot, so they could play with it. So something to cover that area up, kind of make it look safety for the kids.
Yeah, that stuff gets pretty hot. I took my granddaughter out there, and
Yeah.
I touched the slide, and I was like, it
No
burned
way.
me. I'm like,
Yeah, so I'm looking at that, trying to see what would be adequate for that also. Any other questions y'all have, just feel free to.
I do have, just to add on the fire hydrants that Roger helped us acquire.
Yes.
We are working and coordinating with the CTE program at the high school, the welding and ag, I believe, mechanic group. And so we're going to coordinate with their instructors, maybe meet on site, talk about the scope of the project and what they need from us and vice versa, and get that scheduled. They're kind of in their competition kind of phase of the school year. So, scheduling wise, that's not a great time, but I think we can get something done before the end of their school year.
Yeah, because I think last time we did some work with the school was at the Stencil Park. They did some welding, grinding, and different things, and we supplied the materials. We used their labor, but we supplied the materials and so forth, and to get the stuff pretty work done. So that's another idea.
I do have one comment I wanted to bring up. I noticed on the last city council meeting, they were talking about memorials for the city. It's just an idea I had. I know we got that little park there that we're just talking about in the middle of town. To me, I would think that would be a good spot if you want to do memorials for, citizens that went up and above and beyond for the city. Because I know they're trying to figure out how to do things and show, to keep their memory in play. To me, I think that park, maybe on the outer side by the fences, you could set up little memorial spots or plots for
It's possible.
for the citizens that have earned it, that
Right.
that respect. So, I mean, it's just an idea I had the other day when I was listening to the city council meeting. They were trying to figure out what would be a good thing to do for, I think it was for Stan Jones, and to me, that park's in the middle of town. It's something that is not, we know it's not used a whole lot, but it'd be something that could bring people to it.
Attraction to it.
It is a memorial park, so that's just something I had, an idea I had. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that's just something I feel like I should bring up.
Out of curiosity, do you know the other,
The other memorial site.
yeah,
Yeah,
do you know
it's
how
up-
much that cost by chance? The last one that they did? $25,000?
$25,000.
Okay.
And
Well, and that hasn't, I'm guessing, city council hasn't given that to us yet. I'm expecting it.
Well, the thing you could do to me out there, if nothing else, you could do a memorial wall. You could build a wall
Absolutely.
and have a plaque with person's name and the stuff they did, and you'd be able to add on to it
I think that's
as
a-
time goes on. So it
No, and
just, it's a spot where it's in the middle of town, it's centrally located. People could see it, and it shows homage to the people that serve this community, so.
And even with that, you could do, that wall correctly, if we laid it out correctly to begin with, you could do larger plaques on that wall instead of just someone's name. You could do larger plaques on the wall commemorating those individuals. Food for thought. I think that we are going to end up probably looking at that probably by our next meeting, I'm guessing, but
Excuse me, President, what park are you referencing, Mr. Buckley?
It's the one, the new one,
the old
right
fire-
there, the old fire station.
The old fire
the-
station behind Walgreens. Well,
Okay.
yeah, right there in the.
Well, we just got to put they got to put the
The pavilion up.
pavilion in. It's
Got
a
it.
small little park, corner park, so.
that's there on San
This
Jacinto.
beautification area right here behind Walgreens, that's the one you're referring to? Okay,
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
And that's where the fire hydrants and fence are going up over there also.
Thank you.
Good ideas, for sure. And just real quick on the benches, just so I'm clear on the benches, where are we at? What do we need to do on the benches to get that finished up? Concrete benches?
Oh,
I know
so-
I know we want to get with the Rotary Club, but
Yeah, so
can we,
on that, what I'll do, I'll get definite price to see what it costs, and I'll, like I said, I email this board, and we could go from that point. We could get a understanding of how you want to approach it. I give you different options and see which one you like, or however you see fit.
Yeah, because this is a substantial difference in price for sure.
Yeah, so
I mean, this
I want,
20,
actually,
this 2431 is for two versus 2832 for one.
yeah, exactly. So I want to actually look at it and see exactly.
Well, the second one, the cheaper one, you said was ADA compliant also, correct?
Yes,
Correct.
correct.
So, I
It's
mean,
a-
if that's,
The less expensive one is 80,
yeah,
80
yeah.
that's the one you, I would.
I would
think
go
you'd
for
wanna
it because
out
you
there.
have different,
Yeah.
it'd be appeasing for the community, you know, different. Houston or San Antonio, I'm thinking it's both, because they have both addresses on there, and so it's gonna be local. Instead of having shipping, because shipping is,
Yeah, well, with the shipping with that one for the two, is,
$1,700 in just shipping.
yeah.
yeah. it's
But what you're gonna
ridiculous.
spend for two on the other one plus the shipping, it's still gonna save you about
Yes.
$2,000 to $3,000.
$1,000, yeah.
So I'll probably go pick it up if that's the decision y'all decide to do. We go pick it up and make it more.
I think we're all good with it. We just need
just-
to know if we're buying, we were gonna do two over there at that park. So if we're paying for the two or if the Rotary is gonna chip in on it. And should be able to have that answer probably this week, huh? Hopefully.
Maybe by next meeting.
Okay. So if we can have, yeah, if we could have it figured out by the next meeting
All right,
would be
I get
awesome.
I get a better pricing and see if they're true to that price and make sure everything's.
And then if you need an extra hand, I can probably get one of my employees to maybe go get them or something.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roger. Proves my point on our public works. All that they do for us is awesome. Number 11, presentation of our 2024 annual report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did intend for this to be more of a presentation in terms of PowerPoint, graphically, but the day had other plans for me. I did, however, wrap up the production of this draft of the hard copy report that most everybody has. And so we can, I don't want to read it, verbatim to you. I think y'all are able to do that. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. John, I think it'd be great if he could share your message, a letter from the president that you crafted, and then we can kind of go over at a high level some of the accomplishments of the 2024 year. But the idea is to kind of just take stock and make note of the milestones that we reached in 2024, and I guess going forward every year. And then do that kind of annually in January, the first meeting of the year, and then we present that to the city council the following month. So we're a little behind just due to turnover and kind of changing dynamics and things like that. But I think this is a good start, good inroads towards our new normal.
And we have done a lot, as y'all can tell, in that packet, and we got more to come on all that. I know we do. But on the letter from the president, as we reflect on the past year, I am filled with immense pride and gratitude for the remarkable strides made by the Cleveland Economic Development Corporation. It has truly been a year of transformational progress, marked by strategic investments that are reshaping the perception of our beloved city and positioning Cleveland as a thriving destination for strategic investment. A cornerstone of our progress has been the Gateway and Wayfinding Signage Master Plan. This project not only spurred our comprehensive rebranding effort, but also reinforces our commitment to an enduring positive self-image for Cleveland and its residents. One of the most significant milestones of 2024 was the launch of the Community Rebranding Project, funded wholly by this EDC. This bold initiative is setting the stage for completely revitalizing Cleveland's reputation, elevating our profile, and highlighting our competitive advantages as a community poised for growth. This project, coupled with targeted investments in merchandise and promotional campaigns, including the popular Rock and Ride fanny packs, the impactful Shop Local, and Cocoa Crawl that we talked about earlier with our partnership with the Greater Cleveland Chamber of Commerce, and the strategic advancements in community publications has amplified our message that Cleveland is a city on the rise. This year, we also embarked on the most ambitious parks and beautification campaign, as Roger was just mentioning a minute ago. We're still working on it. Cleveland, the beautiful beautification campaign Cleveland has seen in decades. The completion of the old fire station pavilion in the downtown plaza area has created a vibrant community gathering space. The skate park at Campbell Park, born out of the overwhelming community demand, now serves as a beloved destination for our community. Meanwhile, the installation of the new fencing at the library, at Austin Memorial Library, has unlocked limitless programming possibilities, enhancing the cultural fabric of our city. Yet, this is only the beginning. Even more exciting park and city facility improvements are planned for the coming year, further enriching our community's quality of life. Additionally, our commitment to building a strong foundation for growth is evident in our infrastructure investments, including the Buzzy Bee Water Line extension. We are also refining our economic development strategy by partnering with professional consultants on a target industrial analysis. This initiative will sharpen our focus on key industrial clusters and bolster our efforts in industrial attraction, business development, and lead generation. Additionally, our collaboration with Retail Strategies is set to elevate Cleveland's retail landscape by identifying prime opportunities for investment and revitalization. Our success is rooted in strong partnerships. This year, we renewed strategic discussions with Greater Houston Partnership, ensuring Cleveland remains an integral player in regional economic development. Our collaboration with Energy Texas continues to identify new investment opportunities. Most notably, our partnership with Greater Cleveland Chamber of Commerce has transformed the way we work together. The monumental success of inaugural downtown Cocoa Crawl stands as a testament to the power of our collaboration. As we look ahead, we recognize the need for continued financial support to strengthen this vital alliance, empowering us to achieve even greater success. Looking forward, I'm filled with boundless optimism for the future of the Cleveland Economic Development Corporation. With an exceptional board of directors guiding our vision and a dedicated director of community development at the helm, we are poised for unprecedented growth. As the EDC invests in expanding our team, we are equipping ourselves with the talent and resources necessary to reach new heights and realize unimaginable possibilities. In closing, I want to express my deepest gratitude to our board. I know I say that all the time, but we can't do it without our board. The City of Cleveland City Council, as you're well aware, I do thank them all the time, and our communication with them is essential. Our beloved outgoing city manager, as we've always said today, Scott Swaggart, our community partners, and every stakeholder who has contributed to our shared success. The momentum that we have built is just the beginning. Together, we are shaping a brighter future for Cleveland, one of opportunity, prosperity, and pride. And I know I just hit on a few things that we have going. I know Emilio mentioned that there's a lot more in this packet. I don't know if our board has even taken a moment to look at everything we've done and everything we've accomplished in this past year. But we've done a lot. We've done a whole lot, and I know we got a lot going as we're talking. But thank you to everybody. You know, it takes a team effort. And as Victoria was saying at the very beginning of this meeting, the collaboration that we've had just between EDC and the chamber this year has been just great, and it's proven itself time and time and time again. I started this out a couple of years ago with that statement that we needed to build our relationship better between the EDC, the chamber, and the city council. We needed to be working together in a cohesiveness, and we've done that, and you can look and see what we've accomplished by doing that. And I think it's only going to get better, obviously. Anything else, Emilio?
Yeah, just, like I mentioned very quickly, at a high level, I wanted to go through some of the facts and figures in this report. And please, I already found some things going through John's letter, some typos or some opportunities for improvement. So please feel free to point those out. You can follow up with me, email or text or phone call later if you think we should change anything before the final presentation is presented to council. And then the final version will be available on our website for the public and everyone to see. But I did want to just kind of highlight some things. So starting off with investment attraction efforts on page 6. This is kind of the meat and potatoes, if you will, of core, conventional, traditional economic development. And it's something that is a huge demand in terms of time and energy, but is also the most fruitful in terms of the payoff. So, just in the short time that I've been here, we've been able to seek about just under $1 billion in investment. And again, that's just seeking. That's not, none of that is, committed, shovel-ready projects. Though, quite frankly, about 3 of those are actually, serious, follow-ups. One of them would be the Blue Group that we've pursued aggressive, conversations and tentative negotiations with. So some of these have real legs, is what I'm trying to say. And so, we sought, roughly 815 potential new primary jobs, high-paying, well-paying jobs for the community. So, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And so I guess that's what I'm trying to articulate in this strategy is that with a new EDC full-time coordinator, we'll be able to do a lot more follow-up, because I think that's somewhere where we can improve on this strategy is just following up with site selectors and the GHP, knowing what we can do better, what are our strengths and weaknesses, and that's to many extents a lot of what Lee's going to talk about or want to know from us tonight, and that's what her report will highlight as well in terms of a SWOT analysis. So made some good progress on investment attraction, have a lot more ground to cover, but I think we're eating the elephant one bite at a time on that. Looking on to infrastructure investments and economic incentives, kind of the other core pillar of economic development work. And really at the top of mind when you talk about site selection is infrastructure. What state is our infrastructure? What's our capacity? What are plans for future extension and upgrades and things like that? So that is a key kind of component of that whole investment attraction picture. Obviously, we made inroads in doing some of that, and there's opportunity to increase our activities in that. But the Buzzy Bee project there, about over 3,000 linear foot of a new water line there on Highway 59, unlocking, what is just right now unknown potential in terms of future commercial development and revenue generation for the city. provided over $6,500 in small business support in terms of the facade improvement grant to a few businesses, namely Flat Floyd's Barbecue and the Flower Shop. I can't remember. Did y'all do one other before I started? I think there was three
Another,
grants.
we did another facade grant. I just don't remember which one it was. Do
Yeah,
you
it was
remember?
for the healthcare.
Oh,
Oh,
Health
South-
Centers of Southeast
Health
Texas.
Centers of Southeast Texas.
Okay. So it's not just, so economic development is obviously a spectrum from your large, industrial projects, multi-year, large-scale, multi-million-dollar projects, but it's also the small businesses, the mom and pops that need our support and care and attention as well. And so we cover the full spectrum, and I'm proud to say that our program does have a home for everyone and a place for everyone. I'm sorry, I'm just reading over this. Some of this was, again, this is hot off the press, and so some of this information is new. Like I did touch on, we were able this year, or in 2024, to reinvigorate some previous discussions and ideas in terms of some projects. And so we may have lost out on a solar panel production facility, but there was another component to that project in terms of metal recycling and manufacturing, and we were able to successfully revisit those discussions and to have tentatively negotiated some terms, and the contracts are in review with some attorneys for both parties, and so hopefully we can secure that win and promote that win here in just a few short months. And so then that investment stands to bring over $100,000, $100 million. Am I saying that right? Okay. It's been a long day. $100 million in a new investment, and create about over 150 new high-paying primary jobs for this community. Again, moving on to strengthening strategic alliances. Our work with the Greater Houston Partnership and the Governor's Office, where a lot of these requests for information come from, has just been kind of off the charts, and I think we're making a name for ourselves in a positive way. Just because I think the involvement from Cleveland in the past hasn't been what it is today. So we made a lot of inroads there, and certainly our partnership with Entergy and BNSF. Really, I think those are kind of linked, but both stand on their own individually as well. But we have made great strides, and we're collaborating and communicating on levels that I don't know what it was before, but I think that it's going to be very fruitful in terms of the results that we stand to see with those projects. And like I said, also we in terms of workforce development, we are working with the Cleveland ISD Education Foundation to provide that really substantial investment into their CTE program, which is, at this point, a major pillar of our workforce development strategy, without having other, community colleges or other higher education institutions in our community. That is really one of the core pillars of our workforce development strategy. And then looking on to promoting our assets and raising Cleveland's profile. I did what I can before Soshi got here, but he's going to be able to take us to new heights and then carry on the work that we're doing with the rebranding project, and really give that a whole new life and meaning whenever we're able to activate that brand. And then we'll be able to, we kicked it off, but we'll be able to resume and finalize our gateway and wayfinding signage master plan once we wrap up the branding project. And so, we made lots of investments in marketing and promotional material, from the swag at the fanny packs and some other giveaways and items and publications and community publications. So a lot of good progress, but I'm happy to turn the reins over to Soshi so he can just do that effortlessly and way better than I can. And like I did mention, we are, investing in social media platforms and that thing solely for the EDC, so we can have a voice and engage and do some storytelling that we can't really do wholeheartedly on the city's platform. So looking to create a new voice and reach just more audiences that way. And lastly, I say lastly, you'll notice in the table of contents, there should be 11 chapters, and that's investing in people and partnerships. That chapter will come in the final version. Hopefully I can present that to y'all next week, and that will touch on our collaboration with the chamber and some other key community stakeholders and partners. But chapter 10, quality of life investments, Roger kind of highlighted some of those, and we've made some investments. We're working to refine and improve those investments as well in terms of the old fire station pavilion, some more improvements at the library. But just this year alone, close to $82,000 invested in parks, open space, and beautification initiatives between murals and park improvements and everything. So a lot of that was set in motion and completed either before I arrived or right around when I arrived. So all I could do is really take credit for packaging it and presenting it back to you. And really, I just want to close by saying my hat is off to you all for being so progressive and open-minded and forward-thinking in all of this. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Any questions? I didn't know if y'all noticed the old fire station pavilion picture. The picture has our fire hydrants already in the picture.
It's a rendering.
He's already got the rendering on what Roger's got to make it look like. No pressure, Roger. Anybody have any questions on any of that? Good stuff. We've done a lot. We've got a lot done in a short amount of time, and we just keep moving forward. It's awesome. Number 12 is adoption of the Business Improvement Grant, program guidelines and criteria.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a good discussion at our last board meeting, and I am happy to report that this has been reviewed by our city attorney, Tommy Ramsey, and he has gave us the green light to proceed with adopting these new program guidelines and criteria for the Business Improvement Grant, formerly the Facade Improvement Grant. Some of the changes, or all of the changes that you requested were made. I don't have a red line version in front of me, but if you have any questions or concerns, I'm happy to address those now.
Does anybody have it in front of them or no? I know that we didn't have it printed out, so.
It was in the packet, though?
Yes,
Okay.
it was in the packet. Yeah, because I have it on mine. Anybody have any questions on it at all? I mean, I read it earlier. It was kind of how we laid it out. Yep. We do need to, since it's went to Tommy, we do need a motion to adopt the new Business Improvement Grant.
Make a motion, we adopt the Business Improvement Grant program guidelines and criteria.
Second.
Hang on just one second here. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. McWaters, and I have a second by Mr. Thompson. Any other questions, concerns, anything in the Business Improvement Grant? Nope. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously for the adoption of the new Business Improvement Grant. 13 is discussion regarding target industry analysis from applied marketing.
All right, so this is the main event of this evening, if you will. But I want to just give another introduction to Lee Howe. Am I saying the last name correct? Okay. Again, with applied marketing, they're working on our target industries analysis, and so she kind of has a series of questions and prompts that she'll walk us through. I'm going to mainly be quiet and take notes, and this is really y'all's opportunity with Lee.
Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for having me in. I appreciate it. Emilio's been great to set all this up for me to be here this week, talk with you and several other groups about industry and what you all have in mind here as far as what's been happening, but also what you'd like to see happen. And so a little bit about my process before I jump into some of my questions is I will do all the work on my end to gather the economics, you know, what's growing in the area and what's been expanding recently as far as the region and the state, where are the jobs coming from, that sort of thing. But what I want to hear from all the people in the community, we're meeting with BNSF, we're meeting with real estate folks and workforce development folks, many groups, just to get an idea of how everyone perceives the strengths here. What are some of the challenges to attracting industry, and then what, you know, getting to look at the assets and understanding, like, you know, the logistics center that's developed and that sort of thing, and how does that play into which industries find that attractive. And so, you know, putting that all together with some recommendations that will guide some of the marketing and attraction work that Emilio will do. But I will jump right in as far as just, I'm here mostly to listen to you. I want to hear about what are the greatest strengths in Cleveland relative to in industry, and which industries you know, are taking advantage of some of those strengths. I don't know who wants to start.
Well, the one thing I think as far as our strength for us is we're about an hour from every major city. Houston, Beaumont, within that area, Lufkin, the bigger cities were, you know, then you got Conroe, which is 30 miles away, so we're like right in the middle of everything.
Okay, good location.
One of the things that I think that we're, I mean, you'll hear it from other areas, I'm sure, but a lot of it comes back to people. We've got a very resilient people. Through every disaster we've ever had, the outpouring from the community has been solid, has been strong. Historically, you know, I mean, this city was basically built on the timber industry and the railroad, trucking and logging and railroad. Were two of the major things from the history of the town. Now with BNSF project coming in, I mean, that's really going to create a resurgence in that aspect.
Okay.
I think they've kind of hit the nail on the head. Of course, I know it wouldn't be me if I didn't mention our awesome airport. Just saying.
I was going to leave that for you, John.
Not because I have anything to do with the airport, of course, but we do have an awesome airport. BNSF, just, I mean, everything that they said, this true hometown feel, and we've got a lot going for sure. A lot of really good things going. Chuck, you got anything?
No, unfortunately, I don't. Still relatively new to the area. I will say this to echo John. I know the first opportunity I had to see the airport, gosh, it sounds almost denigrating, but I was very surprised. I didn't understand and realize the traffic that is going through that airport. So I think that is, for lack of a better description, one of the diamonds in the rough here that can bring in additional either revenue or at least additional interest for corporations to take a look at this area. Beyond that, terribly sorry, I'm gonna have to plead ignorant to some of the history. I have some of the recent events at the chamber, the annual banquet. I was overwhelmed by some of the history that was here beyond the timber. So there's a lot of overwhelming history here that I think could be leveraged moving forward. So there you go. Hope it's worth more than 2 cents. So.
Anybody else? Tanya, anyone else have anything to add? No. Obviously, we have BNSF. That's obviously, I mean, I'm sure you're aware of that. And our airport is pretty phenomenal. It's for a general aviation airport, it's a lot larger than most general aviation airports you go to in the country. I fly a lot, and I fly to a lot of them. And for general aviation airports, we have a pretty substantial airport.
Well, to kind of reinforce what Mr. Buckley was saying too, I think as we go forward, whether we're talking about airport, BNSF, but our location is what we basically can be a logistics hub.
Yeah.
You know, I think transportation is going to be key to what makes us attractive.
Okay.
Yeah, based on everything he just said with what we have also coming to us.
Well, and you have all the roads. Here we go. All roads lead to Cleveland. You have all the roads from all the major cities around us. You know, like Mike said, between Conroe, Lufkin, Beaumont, Houston, we're right here. You go through Cleveland. If you're going to go from Conroe or even Lufkin, but mostly, you know, from Conroe, Lufkin, and go to Beaumont and go to Houston. You know, Conroe, you're going to take 45, but Conroe to Beaumont, you're going to take 105. Lufkin to Houston, you're going to take 59. Lufkin to Beaumont, you're going to cut through Cleveland and go to Beaumont. So you have a lot of opportunity there that we've got to capitalize on.
Well, I'd have to say, just a comment from coming in today, I was, I wouldn't say surprised. I was as happy to see Cleveland on the, on the signage coming in Houston, and very, very plain north to Cleveland, that sort of thing. So, I was very happy to see that already in place, and, that is recognized by the city of Houston too, that, everyone that drives a car through there sees Cleveland as a name.
It's from all those destinations. Each one of those cities
Yeah.
have some that depicts head to Cleveland,
Yeah.
this way. So
Yeah.
our signage is out there within an hour from us. So
Okay.
Oh, and any major, any major thoroughfare from any of those destinations is going to point you to Cleveland. Everything does.
Great. So let's talk a minute about the challenges that exist as you're working towards economic growth and industry attraction. Are there challenges that, what are the biggest challenges, I guess, you're seeing as far as, some of the things that either, need a little improvement, or maybe we just don't focus on those when we're doing our marketing, those sorts of things.
I think retail development's a major one. That's, I think, not that anybody's done anything different in the past, but I think retail development is where we lack considerably.
Okay.
Anybody else?
No, I think that, we've got some, with Grand Oaks and some other communities around. I mean, we've come a long way in getting some more housing available here, but retail development is up there for me. As more industry moves in, we have a lot on, coming down the pike as far as industry that they're going to need some places to shop. Plus what's here already local that's just going to greatly improve them. But we get asked a lot, of course, about improvements about current things and future retail growth.
Okay.
Well, to me, it's more of an issue too, is the layout, because everything goes to one section of town, and instead of kind of spreading out, everything goes to the south end. Everybody wants to go, because they're going out of towards Houston, so the north end of Cleveland is kind of dead to the point as far as growth-wise, so that, I think it's something we need to see if we can potentially push over to that section, so that way it opens the city back up like it used to be prior to the bypasses going in.
Okay. Any other comments on that before we move on? All right, I'm going to hit some other topics kind of like that are important to companies as they look at your community. And it's more broad. Go on.
I was going to say if there's a way to filter Colony Ridge or capitalize also maybe on Colony Ridge. Are you familiar with Colony Ridge yet?
I am not.
As soon as you Google it, you will be.
Okay.
I think there's probably a way to capitalize on it and filter it in a way also.
Okay.
I think it's the immigrant community that we talked about, touched on maybe in an earlier call.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't remember
No
that.
worries. No worries.
Okay. And just to move on then to some, I'm just going to throw these categories out here and get some more comments on, like, education system. How would you rate your education system here, whether that's to the state or some of your, local, similar I can't say, local cities. There we go.
Municipalities. And, I'm just curious, Tanya, did you feel all those eyes look at you when she said that? I'm just curious if you felt it, because we all did it. All of us went.
I noticed it.
All of us just stared down there when you said that. When she said that.
I'm very limited in how I can answer that question. We have a single school district here in our community, and so that single school district pretty much provides an educational experience for all of our students. We do have some challenges in terms of space and enrollment in facilities, but we as a district is working very diligently to try to overcome some of those challenges. We definitely need a second high school, but that is something that we have to put on the shoulders of the community in order for that to happen. It goes back to what our president had referenced when he spoke of Colony Ridge, that we really need a high school in the South. Currently, information I can share is that some of our students ride on a school bus almost 2 hours to get to school in the morning, which means that they're actually on buses at 5 a.m., which means they're getting up at 4 a.m. So that's a challenge that we really seek out the support of the community to resolve that through passing bonds. That's the only way that we can counteract the amount of students that we have enrolled in one single high school. Other challenges that the school district face is because of the amount of students that we have in one school, it requires us to be a 6A district, but we don't have the capacity of our student athletes to work at that level. So that's another challenge. The vast majority of the challenges that we face as a district is really going to have to be shouldered by the community. And that's going to have to be able, through marketing, passing bonds, and really getting our families that are in the north to find value in putting schools in the south.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and just for context, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Clark, but Cleveland ISD is the fastest growing school district in the state, or very close to it.
Yes, we have been titled as that lately in light of some of the new things that are happening because of the change of leadership at the government level. We have been stagnant a little bit here lately, but yes, we are fast growing.
All right, any other comments on education? Workforce development?
I could-
Overpopulated and understaffed. I know they're hard, they're doing the best they can with what they got.
Yep.
But it affects everybody, you know, so that's the problem. And I think that's one of the draws when it comes to people looking into the city. They look at when they look at schools, and they see that probably puts a little bit of a fear into them.
I was going to say, an observation, for me, working in other jurisdictions and for other communities of different sizes, the lack of some post-secondary options, higher education, primarily, I think, at the local college level, community college, is probably a barrier for some people just in terms of commuting to other nearby systems that have satellite, offerings, and struggling to, the availability of different programs at different times. And so not having a kind of a dominant presence in terms of higher education is probably an impediment to our workforce development framework.
And that came up this past week. I think that we could use we're at the point, and I know it's been discussed with the city previously in years past, but we are at the point we could probably use a higher education satellite location here. We're there. I mean, I think the only reason, I think the benefit would be the transportation, being able to utilize that here versus going to Kingwood or, having something local.
Okay.
But they do offer college classes, so a student could finish 2 years of college if they stay on the program in high school. They can do the dual courses, and in the past years they have brought in more programs to give kids a step forward in the field instead of college in the trades and stuff. So they do have those implemented. So it is a plus that our school does have.
Okay. Good. Let's move on to just evaluate the cost of living here compared to whether it's, around the state or around the nation. And where do you see yourself stacking up in housing, food, that sort of thing?
Well, right now this area's got hit because of everybody moving into the state. It was affordable at one time. Now it's skyrocketed. It's double or triple what the cost of something was, 5 years ago, just because of people from, California, New York moving in and paying double and triple just so they could get into somewhere. And of course, it was cheaper than what they just sold. They get a 1,200 square foot home and they pay $1.2 million for it, and they come here and they can get a 2,500 square foot home with property for 200, and they say, well, I'll give you 400 because I want it right now. And that's happened quite a bit around here. I mean, property has gone through the roof.
And go ahead, Chuck.
I'll echo Michael. Maybe this where it comes into play from my experience, because we are still relatively new here. We moved here from the Austin area, where cost of living is absolutely skyrocketing. So for me and our family, moving here actually reduced our costs. But Michael's right. We still see a lot of people coming in that possibly cash rich as a result of selling, another piece of property elsewhere in the state, and coming here where all of a sudden housing costs are lower, cost of living overall is. I guess maybe the one thing, and even though we experienced it over in Austin, I mean, for lack of a better word, still a bedroom community. So there's a lot of commuting that is going on. So, that cost of the commute back and forth may be a little expensive, but I still think overall yeah, it's a lower cost of living here than elsewhere.
Yeah. And the reason I ask some of these questions about, the challenges is because there's opportunities in that. Definitely the people that are leaving your city to go somewhere else, there's opportunities to bring jobs here that, keep them here. So, that's why I'm asking some of these questions. So just not trying to pick it, anything in particular, but, what about healthcare and the access to healthcare here? How would you rate that?
Most people are gonna go to Kingwood,
Okay,
They're gonna go to Woodlands.
Woodlands, Kingwood,
okay,
It's,
honestly.
there's nothing really here anymore.
okay. Well, you have an
We
opportunity,
definitely
that's
have
right.
There's a big opportunity
I
for it.
think although we may seek healthcare in other communities because we think that the quality may be at a better rate, I do think that we have an abundance of doctors in this area. So I think if we go to transportation and just the community themselves, I think that they have an opportunity to seek healthcare here. I mean, we have cardiologists here, we have doctors here, we have physical therapists here. I've just never seen such a concentrated area of doctors. So I think that is something that's kind of unique to our city, especially for individuals that may not be able to access kind of private health care. They're relying on the state-funded health care. I do think that there's a lot of opportunity to seek medical care here in this community. I mean, I may be wrong, but, I mean, there's a doctor on almost every corner.
Well, when we had the hospital was up and running, everything around that hospital area was a doctor.
Yeah,
You had some sort of medical physician or healthcare facility or something that was related to that hospital, so it was a big industry. I mean, just
Yeah.
anything you see for rent around here, a doctor was in at one time, so, by losing the hospital, it has affected us, but our potential to have one here is great, because, like I said too, we're within an hour, there's a lot of small cities and little towns around us that had to travel even further either direction to get healthcare, so
Right.
if we had something here, a major name or brand, we would do really well. I know it'd do really well.
okay. My next question probably really gets to the heart of what I'm doing, is that when you think of the type of businesses that could come here, what do you think fits best? What do you see here? What type of industry? Whether it's a manufacturing type or the transportation type, service, healthcare, that sort of thing.
I think you're
What
gonna
do you
see
think?
industrial very quickly. I mean, you have the railroad here, obviously, you got BNSF here, so you're gonna have, industrial immediately, but the more industrial that comes, obviously, the more retail you have to support it. And then the more housing you have to support that. It's a chain,
Right.
and there's links of that chain. And as long as you bring the jobs that require the employees, or the businesses that require the employees, then you have to have everything else that follows it.
And if you look, just based on what we already have in the pipeline, we have transportation, we have industrial, we have some light manufacturing. So, I mean, so I think it's gonna continue to go that way and build upon itself, and just like, President said, it's gonna spur on a lot of the other, things that we get called for all the time, such as, different, opportunities for retail development. But we're already seeing the movement into those categories now, which I think will continue.
Okay. What about, some of the either service-based or those types of industries? Do you see much of a role in Cleveland there as far as, attracting, more programming, AI? I just, as you look towards some of the other developing technology.
I really think that a DoorDash and Uber driver could make a pretty good living if they'd just go to work. I know I have met somebody that is doing some of it occasionally, and she says that when she has the time to do it, she does real well because she gets paid extra to go, out to Tarkington and stuff with food. And yeah, it is. It's just not enough to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
And what we're, as Emilio said in his report, I mean, what you're targeting is expanding the wages of Cleveland in the city, and that's our purpose. Questions for me about what I'm doing? Okay, very good. Well, I appreciate your time tonight. I really appreciate your insights, and I look forward to being here for a few days and learning all I can about Cleveland and what's happening here so that we can put it to work for you all.
How long are you going to be here?
I am here through Thursday.
And you're from Indiana?
Indiana.
Indiana?
Correct. Yep.
Awesome.
Indianapolis area.
Awesome.
I guess, Lee, can you just walk us, the board, for their education, some of the deliverables?
Sure. There will be recommendations as far as target industries, and those will get down into specifics. On the manufacturing side or the distribution, that may be whether it's metalworking or aerospace or food products or whatever works out to be some of the best opportunities here, but then also those industries that are forecasted most for growth in this region. So it'll be recommendations. Once the recommendations are accepted, then we put together what's called a profile on each industry. So it really tells you what's going into that industry, what's important to that industry when they're looking for new locations, and where some of that industry is best targeted. So looking at, whether you're looking at different clusters in different other states or regions, or even here in Texas that can expand, and where you might do the best targeting as far as geographically as well. So that profile really sets you up to, and Emilio, to have a lead generation program for that recommended industry. And I'll give him some of the background to understand what they're looking for, what message is best to deliver to that industry.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have any questions or anything?
So Lee and I will be engaged in a series of stakeholder engagement activities, focus groups, roundtables, one-on-one interviews. So like she said, till Thursday. So I'll be easy to get a hold of via phone or email, but that's kind of going to be the primary focus of this week. And so, do you know, for our edification, the delivery of some of those final strategies and deliverables in terms of timing after this visit?
My recommendations will come probably about 4 weeks after, and then it'll be an iterative process there, but looking to finish that up within 2 months total. So looking at eight weeks. Sometimes it takes 10. I'll say 8 to 10. But that really just depends on the back and forth and, how much other questions some of my recommendations, kick up on your end.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
We're going to lose Mike. I think he's got to cut out of here. He's got to go work for a living.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. We understand totally.
Thank you, Mike.
He did say we can have him till like 2 o'clock in the morning after this meeting. Yeah, as soon as we go to Tuesday, he said we can have him all night long. So it's a party.
There won't be an issue then.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it very, very much. No, we understand totally. Jackie, 7:45. What?
Everything else is, anything else in the agendas? We're not taking.
No, we got four. We have to have four, and it is four for a quorum, right? Yeah, 4 out of 7. Yeah, we still got a quorum. You're good. Thank you, Mike. Also, our librarian's here. Did you come just to visit and see us? Yeah. Yeah, she wanted an update on some shade. Summer's coming, and she wanted to know, where do I got some shade?
Sun was out today.
How's your fence? Great. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's went by and seen it. Oh, y'all, yeah, it looks awesome. Y'all need to go by and see it. We step up here and tell us? We'd love to hear it real quick. I know it wasn't on the agenda, but we'll squeeze it in here.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We have worked with the Liberty County Extension Office. They have put a couple of planter boxes in the back, and they are looking for donations of soil, but there are some soil that's already there. We were looking at what items that we want to plant have a community garden. So if, say, for instance, we grow tomatoes or cucumbers, watermelons, whatever, peas, we will then put that at the front desk at the library, and for the citizens of Cleveland that would like to get some homegrown food, we will also do that and have that available. And it will be an area that people can come in if they would like to help with the weeds. There is a weed barrier down, but it gives them a community garden to have in place.
Brent?
Yeah, let's, I'll be reaching out to you on your soil needs and everything. I have a outlet there I think it can help.
Okay, that'd be great.
Just a
Fantastic.
small outlet.
That's a great project.
Absolutely.
Well, it serves
We're
the
excited.
public, and it's teaching the kids also how to grow food, their own food.
Absolutely.
If we get quite a bit of tomatoes, for instance, or peas or beans, then we will in turn have a canning class. So it's turning into more and more, and we are getting ready to have our let's hatch a egg to a chick, and then we are looking at putting out for a little bit of an extended period of having the chickens raised from baby chicks to when they become a pullet outside, so they can actually see besides just from the egg to a hatch. So thank you. It's increased our programming.
That's awesome. That rocks. It looks great. Yeah. Thank you. And I do encourage you to go see our library and, of course, the awesome fencing. Did we get the dirt leveled out? Yes. Okay, good deal. I always forgot to ask about that. We did get that done. Okay, good. Anything else on any of that? Revision of EDC bylaws, 1, 2, and 3. I know we're down to 4 members, but
Well, and given, I guess, the absence of those members and my being consumed with some other projects, I think it'd be a good opportunity to take this up at the next meeting.
let's, I don't even know that do we need to actually take a vote and table it? I don't think so, do we?
We'll just have it, I'll put it on.
Nope, okay. So we are just going to unofficially table that until our next meeting. We're going to do an executive session. I'm also going to invite Miss Pam Harrison, if you want to put that down for us, please, into our executive session. So real quick, the legalities. The City of Cleveland Economic Development Corporation reserves the right to adjourn into executive session at any time during this meeting to discuss any item on the agenda as authorized by the Texas Government Code, sections 551.071, Constitution with an attorney, how about consultation with an attorney? 551, yeah. 551.072, deliberation about real property. 551.073 is deliberations and gifts and donations. 551.074 is personnel matters. 551.076 is deliberations about security devices, and 551.087 is economic development. And we are going to go back in session on number 15 is 551.072, deliberation about real property. And number 16 is 551.087, economic development. And it is officially 7:51. And again, we are inviting Pam Harrison to go back in an executive session with us also. 7:51. We are back in session from executive session at 8:59 PM. And we have no action taken from executive session. Do we have a
Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn by Brent?
Second the motion.
Second, Tanya, all in favor? Motion passes. We are adjourned.